So, you're thinking about getting a sailboat, but the prices on new ones just made your wallet weep salty tears. Or maybe you're dreaming about something with soul, not just Bluetooth winches and plastic shine. Either way, let me tell you a secret. The best boats out there might be older than your Spotify playlist. Today, we're diving into 10 old sailboats that are not only better than most new ones, but also a whole lot cheaper. These are boats with stories, with scars, with a bit of creak in the floorboards and a lot of heart in their hulls. Whether you're hunting for a budget cruiser, a Bluewater tank, or just want a boat that makes you feel something when you step aboard, this list is for you. So, crack a cold one, settle in, and let's take a look at the legends that still absolutely rock. If I had $1 for every sailor who swore by the Pacific Seacraft 34, I could probably afford one. This boat is a Bluewater classic with a cult following, and for good reason. It's one of those rare older boats that feels just as relevant today as it did when it first hit the scene. The full keel with a cutaway forefoot gives you tracking and control without feeling like you're dragging an anchor. You've got a traditional layout down below, with just enough teak to smell like adventure without feeling like you need to spend your life varnishing. And when you step inside, you feel like you're in a boat that's been somewhere, not just parked in a marina. She's not huge, but she's incredibly capable, like a small mountain cabin with sails. If you're serious about crossing oceans or just want something that feels bulletproof on a windy passage, the Pacific Seacraft 34 is one to watch. Prices vary, but well-kept ones tend to hold their value, and for a good reason. They're not trendy, they're timeless, and that's something no modern gadget can replace. The Catalina 30. If you've spent more than 5 minutes in any marina in North America, you've probably walked past at least 3 of them. And that's not a knock, it's proof of just how good these boats are. With over 6,000 built, the Catalina 30 is one of the most popular sailboats ever made. She's roomy, forgiving, and surprisingly nimble for a boat that was never meant to be flashy. The interior feels big for her size, with enough space to cruise in comfort or even live aboard if you're clever with your storage. The cockpit is generous, great for weekends with friends or solo sundowners, and because so many were built, the support network is amazing. Parts, advice, mods, you name it. You'll never feel alone with one of these. Sure, she's not built to cross oceans out of the box, but coastal cruising, island hopping, living aboard on a budget, the Catalina 30 will get the job done and make it fun. She's like that trusty old pickup truck. You know she's not glamorous, but you also know she'll never let you down. The Alberg 37 is the kind of boat that makes you pause when you see one at anchor. Long overhangs, narrow beam, that gentle sheer line. It's the kind of boat that whispers, not shouts. But don't let her graceful looks fool you. This is a serious, ocean-going cruiser that was built to go the distance. She's a full-keel beauty with a reputation for handling rough conditions better than many so-called modern cruisers. The ride is smooth, predictable, and steady, just the way you want it when the weather turns. Inside, you get a cozy, wood-rich cabin that smells like tradition. Everything is compact, but well thought out. It's not a luxury condo, it's a functional floating home built for purpose. And here's the kicker. Many of these boats are still out there, still crossing oceans, still proving themselves. You can find them in the Caribbean, the Med, the Pacific. Everywhere, sailors trust their hull more than their Wi-Fi signal. If you want a boat that earns respect at every dock and anchorage, and you're okay with a bit of varnish work now and then, the Alberg 37 is calling your name. The Pearson 33 often flies under the radar, and honestly, that's part of its charm. It's not the boat you see on every glossy magazine cover or docked next to a Hinckley, but that's exactly why smart sailors love it. Built with that solid 70s and 80s Pearson fiberglass construction, this boat is a sweet spot. Big enough to cruise comfortably, small enough to single-hand with ease. The layout is smart and surprisingly roomy. You've got good headroom, a functional galley, and space to stretch out, whether you're anchored off the coast or on a long passage. Performance-wise, she's no slouch. You'll actually enjoy sailing her, even when the breeze picks up. It's a boat that feels right. Balanced, manageable, and just plain honest. Maintenance is straightforward. Parts are available, and there's a whole crew of Pearson lovers out there willing to swap tips and stories. If you're hunting for a dependable, affordable boat that can do a bit of everything and look good doing it, the Pearson 33 is worth a close look. It's one of those quiet classics that just keeps delivering, year after year. Here's the boat that launched 1,000 dreams, and probably just as many epoxy repairs. The West Sail 32 is a full-keel, heavy displacement cruiser that became the poster child for the sail-away and never-come-back lifestyle in the 1970s. Built like a tank and about as fast as one, this boat isn't for folks in a rush. But if you're the kind of sailor who wants to ride out a gale with a cup of coffee in hand, the West Sail 32 is your girl. She's got that salty look, big bowsprit, beefy rigging, and storage for months of canned beans and hard-earned wisdom. Inside, she's cozy in that ship-like way, tight but functional, built for people who actually go places. You won't find luxury finishes, but you will find practicality and toughness. These boats have been to every corner of the globe and back, often more than once, and while they've got a reputation for being slow, they'll keep moving long after flashier boats have turned tail. If you've ever wanted to unplug from the world and drift off into the blue, this is the boat that can take you there and bring you back. The Valiant 40 is the boat that changed the game. Before it showed up, you had two kinds of cruisers, slow and safe, or fast and fragile. The Valiant said, "Why not both?" and gave us a strong, seaworthy cruiser that could actually move. It's got that unmistakable look, reverse transom, cutter rig, big personality. Under sail, it feels alive. You get performance without sacrificing safety, and that's exactly why it's become a legend among serious offshore sailors. Sure, some of the early models had blister issues due to a bad resin batch, but most have been repaired by now, and if you find one that's been taken care of, it's gold. Down below, the Valiant feels like a proper ship, not a floating condo, not a weekend toy. This is a boat meant to take on oceans. Storage, tankage, balance, it's all there. When you see one in an anchorage, it's like spotting a Land Rover Defender in the wild. It's the choice of people who don't just talk about crossing oceans, they actually do it. If you're serious about long-distance cruising and want a boat that can handle whatever the sea throws at you, the Valiant 40 is hard to beat. The Ericson 32-3 is one of those boats that just gets it right. It's not trying to be the biggest or the flashiest, but step aboard and you'll immediately get why so many sailors love it. Built in the 1980s, it has that sweet spot of old-school construction and just enough modern sensibility. The hull is solid, the lines are sharp, and under sail, she's a joy. Quick, responsive, and stable, the Ericson 32-3 often surprises folks with how well she handles. For coastal cruising, weekend getaways, or even extended adventures with the right prep, this boat can do it all. Inside, you've got a smart layout, open enough to feel comfortable, tight enough to be practical at sea. And there's a certain charm in the wood trim, the thoughtful touches that make it feel like a sailor's boat, not a floating apartment. Maintenance is manageable, and because there are still plenty out there, you'll find great community support and second-hand wisdom all over the place. For someone looking to get into cruising without breaking the bank, or their back, the Ericson 32-3 is a fantastic place to start. She's proof that good design and solid build never go out of style. Sailing a Hinckley Bermuda 40 is like stepping into a time machine, only this one is varnished, perfectly balanced, and still turns heads wherever she drops anchor. First built in the late 1950s, this boat set the bar for American yacht craftsmanship, and frankly, no one's really matched it since. The long overhangs, the sweeping sheer, the yawl rig, it all comes together in a package that screams elegance without saying a word. She's not just pretty, though. Under sail, she glides. Smooth, steady, and surprisingly capable offshore. A deep, full keel and solid fiberglass layup give her the kind of ride that makes even rough weather feel a little romantic. Inside, it's warm wood, classic joinery, and a layout that feels like a sailor's whiskey lounge. Now, let's be real. You don't buy a Bermuda 40 because it's cheap. Even the old ones can cost more than a new production boat. But what you're paying for is more than just performance. It's heritage, soul, and serious presence. If you want to cruise in comfort and turn every dockside visit into a small event, the Hinckley Bermuda 40 isn't just a boat, it's an experience, and one that never goes out of style. The Pearson 365 is the kind of boat that was made for people who actually use their boat, not just the Sunday sailors or the weekend polishers. I'm talking about folks who fix their own engine, sleep aboard, and don't mind a bit of diesel smell if it means getting the job done. Built in the mid-70s, this boat is solid. Not fancy, not flashy, just honest. She's got a catch rig, which gives you some great balance options, especially when the wind pipes up. Underway, she's not going to win races, but she'll get you there steady and safe. The interior is exactly what you want if you're planning on spending real time aboard. Roomy, practical, and tough. It feels like a cabin you could live in through any season. Plenty of storage, big tankage, and just enough wood to keep the vibe warm without turning into a maintenance nightmare. The Pearson 365 is like that old farm truck that never dies. It's been everywhere, done everything, and still shows up ready to go. If you want a boat that'll take care of you as long as you take care of her, this one's worth a long look. The Contessa 32 is small, yes, but she's mighty. This is the kind of boat that's become legend not because she's big or luxurious, but because she's been proving people people wrong for decades. Born in Britain and known for taking on serious offshore passages, the Contessa 32 has made more crossings than some boats twice her size. And not just calm ones, we're talking about storms, gales, even round-the-world routes. She's got a narrow beam, a full keel, and the kind of handling that keeps you safe when the weather turns nasty. She tracks like she's on rails and dances upwind with the grace of a boat far younger. Down below, it's tight quarters, no denying that, but every inch is functional, every space earned. She was built for sailing, not lounging. For solo sailors or tough couples, this boat offers a kind of intimacy with the sea you won't find on anything wider or roomier. There's something deeply honest about a Contessa. No fluff, no gadgets, just a serious little yacht that's crossed oceans and still begs for more. If you want to learn the sea the old-fashioned way, with salt in your hair and trust in your keel, this is your boat. So there you have it, 10 old sailboats that are still out here doing the job better than most of the shiny new stuff. Boats with heart, with scars, and with enough miles under their keel to earn your respect before you even hoist the main. Whether you're dreaming about crossing oceans, living aboard, or just finding a solid weekend cruiser that won't empty your wallet or your soul, these classics prove one thing loud and clear. Good boats don't age, they endure. Sure, they might creak a little, maybe smell faintly of diesel and teak oil, but every one of them has something modern boats often lack: character. They were built to sail, to explore, to carry people into the unknown and bring them back safe. If you've got a favorite on this list, or one you think we missed, drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear your stories, especially if you're out there sailing one of these legends. And hey, if you found yourself nodding along or dreaming a little harder during this video, give it a thumbs up and hit subscribe. We've got a lot more sailing stories to share, and I'd love to have you aboard for the next one. Fair winds, and I'll see you out there.